fan of, like what I geek out on, is Disneyland. So I have like an absolute weird, crazy obsession with Disneyland, and that's what most of my memorabilia. Like if you come into my house, it looks like you're like in Disneyland. You know, like every piece. I don't have any. You know, like somebody like hangs a picture on their wall, and like that's the picture for the wall. You know, like my like imagine if each one of those panels is a piece of art. Like that's what my walls look like. You know, it's like this. Like just like there's not like one free space of anything on the wall, and it's all Mickey Mouse and Disneyland, but specifically Disneyland. So it's like the Haunted Mansion, or you know, Tomorrowland, or you know, Disney in 1963. This so it's or it's Walt. You know, I have a lot of Walt around the house.
Wow.
But yeah, so like when I go anywhere and I'm looking for memorabilia, or when I come to shows like this, I always am seeking out like, oh man, do they have like, you know, a doorknob from the Haunted Mansion from the 60s, or like do they have some cool, you know, like D23 is like my con, you know, like I go there and they have all the cool, like all the stuff from the park from the 50s all the way to the 70s, all this cool stuff from rides and stuff I remember growing up that's not there anymore, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I geek out on mostly is Disneyland.
So it must have been like kismet that you were a Disney kid. I mean,
Well,
you
I
were
was-
literally
well-
part of the Disney family.
Well, kind of, but it was Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what actually, it's funny that you say that because it's actually the opposite. Like everybody comes over to my house and they're like,
Wait.
dude, you're a total traitor. Like what's going on? You know, I have like my Nickelodeon blimps, you know, like up on the wall. But then like everything in my house is Disney, you know, and everyone comes in and they're like, yo, bro, you were on Nickelodeon. Like, this is like,
Hey,
I
didn't. Like,
you know? You're like, you're a traitor, man. But it's very funny that you know you walk in and literally it's like the enemy. You know?
But again, I mean, most people liked both. I mean, and I will say, because the reason I watched Drake and Josh is me and my friends would do that thing, you know, where you sit around in the circle like on 70s Show, and that's when we would watch it. Hence, probably why I was like, yeah, Disney, right?
Well, no, I mean everybody. It's honestly like it's everybody does that. But also it's. I mean, my life is lived. You know, my professional life is lived on both. You know, I've done so much stuff for Disney, mostly on Nickelodeon, but like you know, Ultimate Spider-Man was all Disney.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so there's been a lot of crossover. It is interesting with how much of both that I've done, because usually it's like, you know, if you were on Disney, you know, like a Miley or like Jonas or anything like that, like you're Disney, you know.
Yeah.
Like you won't even go do a cartoon voice or anything over on like the Enemy Network, you know, but I was just kind of like slipping through, like hey, where's the
Ryan
paycheck?
Reynolds did
I'll take
before
it.
that was a thing.
Disney's paying this week, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, money's money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same.
It looks better when it comes with a mouse on it, though.
Yeah. The cute little ears.
Yeah.
I mean, does you know your check say signed by Walt Disney?
Yeah.
Still, I feel like they're still using that stamp. I mean, you gotta. I mean.
Yeah.
But you know, speaking of Spider-Man, since you brought it up, do you know who has played Spider-Man more times than anyone? Because this includes voice actors.
Who has played Spider-Man more than anyone?
Mhm.
I have no idea.
I think it's you. Because I did some calculations on IMDb, and you've technically played Spider-Man in more different things than any other actor.
Oh, like you mean
Yeah.
like different?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty rad. Yeah, because we've done like live stage shows and cartoon and the cartoon and video games and a lot of and it was the longest running longest running action adventure show. I think it went beyond Batman Beyond.
Yeah. Great show too.
But yeah. I mean, it's one of the greatest. I just ran into Paul Dini the other night. We were going to see Joker.
Yeah.
And I'm like standing there, and we're in line for the concession stand, and this guy's like standing, you know, kind of like going in front of the line to just like see the menu and everything. And then he like turns around to walk back to his group, and I'm like, I'm seeing Joker, and that's Paul Dini. That's pretty cool. You know, and we worked on Spider-Man together. So, and his wife, Misty Lee, is on, has done tons of stuff, but was on Spider-Man as well. and I think she played Aunt May, and so it was just so cool. I'm like in line seeing Joker. I turn around, there's Paul, his wife, so I was able to go up and go, hey, what's up? What's going on? Good to see you guys. But I was like, this is so cool that we're seeing Joker with like some Joker royalty.
Who here? Paul Dini's Batman is your Batman, right?
Yeah,
Batman the animated series. Come on, I mean, Mark Hamill's your Joker, but
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Being responsible for so much, it was really cool to. I was just like, and it was interesting too because when I don't know if the story is interesting to anybody, but I'm just telling it. We were looking for movie theaters to go to, and everything was sold out. Like literally everywhere we wanted to go was sold out. Even like this little theater over here, it was just like, what the heck? Like there's no seats anywhere. And so we had to go out of like our city limit, like go kind of far, to go see the movie. And so it was just kind of serendipitous that like Paul and them were there. I was like, in all of the movie theaters in all the towns, you had to walk into mine.
You had to walk into mine.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was like, wow, like we're not at the ArcLight in Hollywood. We're not at we're not at Universal City Walk or somewhere that everyone's gonna go. It was just some random theater, and it was like, oh, Joker royalty, cool.
Yeah, so, we talked about, Joker royalty, but what do you think of the new Joker?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, Joaquin
was. What'd you guys think?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you liked the movie. Raise your hand if you didn't like the movie. Raise your hand if you didn't see the movie. All right, you guys got to see it. It's great. It's really good. It's really good. But it's like, go into it knowing that it's more of an arts movie. It's more of like an art film. It's not, you're not seeing The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
You're seeing Taxi Driver or King of Comedy. Yeah, it's very King of Comedy. They even, it's even like, that wears it on its sleeve. Like you can see like, oh, okay. But it's very, more like you're seeing a Martin Scorsese movie from the 1970s than a Nolan film or something with like a ton of. The action in it's pretty gnarly, but there's not, you're not seeing a big semi-truck fly over while Batman's going through with this big, tank truck, and everything. But it's a really good movie, and it's long too. And there's, there was no point in the movie where I was like, what is this? How much longer? Like I was just like this the whole time. And when I saw, what did I see recently? There was something I saw recently, but it was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That was so long, and I was like, how much longer do I have to watch Margot Robbie watch herself in a movie? Like, that's what I'm doing. I didn't come here to watch someone do what I'm doing for a half hour. But in that movie, I kind of felt like, oh man, when is this gonna, like, how much longer is it? But Joker, I never looked at the clock until we walked out. I was like, whoa, you've been here for a while.
Yeah, it's very subtle and visceral, but like you say, it flies by because every scene has stuff, even though it's not this crazy action. It's just, and too, as a stand-up myself, I'm like, way too real, man.
Yeah.
It will make you, it's like Hereditary was, if you saw that. It'll make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. I know. I'm like.
How long did that take you to do the?
Yeah.
Yeah. What time did you wake up this morning?
Cosplay.
What time did you wake up this morning?
Well, today I woke up at 6, but yesterday 4.
So did you had some residual on from yesterday, so you didn't have to, so you just had to like do touch-ups today?
Definitely.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, definitely don't shower when you paint yourself, and you gotta go for like a few.
No, that's like when you're working on a set doing something like that. You get home and you're like, okay, I've been in this all day. I could shower, or I could sleep for an extra hour and a half. So that when I get into the hair and makeup, they're just like, oh, okay, cool. We just have to kind of airbrush you and color you in a little bit instead of sitting there for another 4 hours,
Is that why? Voiceover work is definitely better, right? You don't have to do any of that.
Of course it is. Voiceover work's the easiest. We're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the easiest job in the world. If you can crack the code, that's why the voiceover world is so small. Like, there's 10 people that do everything because they're not letting anyone in.
No.
It's you thought Club 33 was hard to get into? Like, this is the secret club. It's like, you get to go, you do 4-hour blocks, you show up and it's like, okay, what am I doing today? All right, what my coffee? Okay. Like you can just in your pajama.
That's the best part, not having to wear makeup,
Yeah,
not
no
having to dress
makeup, no
up.
hair. You get in there, you're like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to read this. Okay, cool. How do I read it? As Spider-Man? Okay. The road goes ever on. Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This has been your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Okay, moving on. Like, no take two? No, we got it. Okay, moving on. All right. But like, it's just so easy, you know? And it's so much fun too because you get to be in the room with all of these actors that you grew up on. You know, a lot of voiceover, unfortunately, is done like by yourself in a room and you're just by yourself. But
That's a downside.
yeah, you know,
that's
that's, yeah, I
one.
mean, it just makes it not as fun. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
fun, but when you're in the room with like Mark Hamill and Tom
Yeah.
Kenny and Maurice LaMarche and all of these
The
guys,
legends?
that you just grew. It's like every time I look up, it's like, you know, Mount Rushmore of my childhood. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you were everything. You were Animaniacs. You were Pinky and the Brain. You were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You were. It's just like goes on and on and on. And you're SpongeBob, and you're the, you know, it's just crazy. And you're Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill, it's like, what didn't he do?
Yeah, you know, and to see actors also like that in situations that you never are going to see them in, right? So you see Mark Hamill, for example, whenever you see him on screen or in an interview, he's Mark Hamill, or he's Luke Skywalker, or he's this guy. But when you see him in a room where he's doing this thing and he's like this and he's trying to get these voices, because you have to contort your face and your body and everything if you're trying to get certain sounds and faces and stuff, and you're looking over at Mark and you're like, whoa, dude, this is so rad. Like, this is like an element of your acting that like only a select few people are ever going to really get to see, because there's no cameras in our faces, and that's what frees us up and gives us the liberty to be like, oh, I need to throw somebody across the room. Okay, like, you know, I'm not gonna like care what I look like or sound like, or I'm getting beat up, you know, doing all these sounds and stuff. And it's like, you don't care because everyone is just working, doing what you're doing. There's nobody that's, you know, taking cell phone videos or you know, making sure that you're, you know, you're in the frame or whatever. And you get to see all these amazing actors do things that nobody else gets to see. You know, it's pretty cool.
I know, I feel like they should do like a behind the voiceover, like behind the music was, so people can start to see that, because, I mean, some of these should be shared with the world.
There was this really cool documentary that came out not too long ago. It was like Behind the Voice or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's on YouTube. You can find it if you just look up like a couple of these actors I just mentioned. But it's really cool, and it kind of goes into that a little bit. It's more like interviews with the people, but I wish that, yeah, they should like. I mean, I'm sure there is if you like look up like so and so in the vocal booth, like, you know. But yeah, it's really cool. Like when you get to peek behind the curtain and see like the Family Guy cast like doing their voices,
Oh, yeah.
or doing, you know, the one of the cool ones is watching that South Park did a whole, you know, this is what it's like in 24 hours before we actually go to air, because they work up until literally they
Oh,
send
yeah.
it to air.
That's why it's always so fresh on the
So
topics.
relevant, yeah. And so to watching that, you're just like, man, these people are on another level of artistry, you know.
Yeah, Matt and Trey are kind of like the gods, and then you got Seth MacFarlane
Yeah.
and all that. I mean, but yeah, do you ever rub it in Josh Peck's face that you broke into the voiceover club?
Well, no, I mean, Josh has done great too. I mean, he did the Ice Age movies.
Oh, yeah.
And he's done a lot. He's done quite a bit of voiceover too. I think he did some stuff on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so no, he, you know,
You guys
and
are
he did some
focused.
stuff on Spider-Man too. I forgot, he came in and did an episode of Spider-Man. I forget who he played, but I'm sure it's on his IMDb. But yeah, so no, we luckily have been able to you know, kind of weasel our way in. It's funny, he played a weasel in Ice Age. I think it was something like a Weasley type character. It's fitting, but he.
Oh yeah, shade. I like that. It's fitting.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But no,
I know, but
he,
that's
but yeah. So no, he did those. I think he did like 3 of the Ice Age movies and stuff. So he's done quite a bit of voiceover himself. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You guys still keep in touch, don't you? I mean, now.
Yeah. I mean, he just had a baby, and he's, you know, got married, and he's all like being an adult now. It's weird. But yeah, you know, everybody on the cast of Drake and Josh keeps in touch because you know, we were like a family. It was just, you know, I still talk to Jonathan and Nancy and you know, when I see her on TV and you know, she's in a bunch of commercials right now, and I watch Jeopardy every day, and her commercials are on after, like, during Jeopardy all the time. And
Did you
I'm
see
like,
Ken Jennings on Friday? He was here.
Well, oh, was he here?
I was like, if you're a big
way.
Jeopardy fan.
Oh man, I gotta read these programs. Oh, Ken Jennings was here?
Yeah. Totally. You're like, well, now I'm depressed.
Was he just here one day?
I think so. I think he was just here on Friday. He did a panel on the main stage. It was pretty cool.
He has a new game.
I'm like, I've ruined his day.
Well, just don't tell me like James Holzhauser's gonna be here, because then I'm not going. Then I'll cry.
Don't tell him. But yeah, before we get to
Was anybody at the Ken Jennings panel?
Yeah.
What was it cool?
Yeah, it was cool. They have a new game called Half Truths.
Oh man, that's really cool.
He created with the creator of Magic.
Oh, so he has like an actual new game?
Yeah.
Oh wow. What's it called?
Half Truths.
Half Truths. I'll have to pick that up.
That sounds good.
The booth
Jeopardy
by
is
the
my
main
favorite
stage.
show of all time.
The booth that the sponsor is at by the main stage.
Oh, rad. Oh, cool. So it's still there. I'll go check it out. Awesome. Half Truths. Sweet.
Well, I was planning on giving you guys the mic here in a minute anyway to go to fan questions, but we'll ask one last thing of Drake. What's next? What do you got coming up?
I'm working on music really a
Cool.
lot right now. I've been putting out a bunch of records and touring all over the world, and just I don't know, putting out music videos and records and things. You can check it all out on YouTube and Spotify and stuff.
All right.
Wherever
Yeah.
music's sold. It's a cool jacket.
All right. So my audience volunteer. Who wanted to volunteer to hold the mic? All right. Orange shirt. I saw your hand go up first, actually. I'll get it for you. There we go. All right. Everybody can just make a single file line.
Oh,
If
okay,
you
I
want
was
to
gonna
ask
say
a
that's gonna
question down the aisle there, try to yell so everybody can hear me.
Hey Drake,
Hey.
I wanted to ask, what do you know about this rumored unreleased episode of Drake and Josh where we meet Drake's dad and Josh's mom?
Oh, that'd be cool, huh? That doesn't exist.
I think that's some fan fiction.
No, that's a fan fiction. But no, I don't think we ever addressed who or what my mom or. Here's some. Do you know what my mom did for a living on Drake and Josh?
No, never mentioned, or even her name.
Yeah, her name was mentioned
Yeah.
on a what? Audrey, yeah. It was written on a piece of paper, like that. When we were like arrested. Or I don't know, one of the episodes where we were like arrested, or we were something where they had to look at a piece of paper and it looked at it and it was the only place it said like Audrey Nichols, because it's the only time we mentioned my mom's name. But she was a caterer. I thought that she was a veterinarian for some reason. I don't know why. I put that in my brain. And somebody was doing Drake and Josh trivia, and they're like, "Do you know what, your mom did for a living?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she was a veterinarian." And they were like, "No?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, she was. Watch." And I'm like, "I'll text the creator right now." He's like, "What did my mom on Drake and Josh do for a living?" Caterer. I'm like, and what are you talking? When? How? What? I'm like, "No, dude, she was a vet. She was a veterinarian." And he was like, "No, like that was never the case. Like she's never been a veterinarian." Like, where did that come from? You know? But yeah, no problem.
All right. What was my question again? Oh, I see you know this group called Heart Like War. How do you know them?
Who?
Heart Like War.
Heart Like War?
The band. Heart Like War.
I don't know. You saw me with. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I played a show. I might have played a concert with them, maybe, or I don't know.
Is it alright? I could say one of your friend name.
I'm sorry?
Is it right to say one of your friend name? You might know his friend, your friend name from that group.
Sure.
You know David?
I don't know.
I know a lot of David.
I know a lot of. I don't know this band.
David C. I know his last name.
I don't.
Oh no.
No, I don't. I'd have to see a picture. I don't know. Where are they from?
Here, Ellen. Let me see if I could.
I like how he's like, I got one.
He's gonna pull up a
Take a
picture.
second.
Yeah. All right, while he's looking. There we go. Oh, no, that was quick. I was like,
Heart Like War. I don't know this band.
How about this one? His page.
all right.
right there.
I think we're going to go on to the next question here, if we can get the mic. And while you look for your picture
Do you have a picture of the band,
Alright.
like of their actual faces?
of what they look like,
Like. Did they say they know me? Ah.
oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, why don't you hang right
Yeah.
here and
We'll
go to
go.
the next question. Oh.
So as it was pointed out earlier, you've done like a lot of Spider-Man media stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, have you ever seen one like a video game or a particular show, and you're like, oh man, I wish I had been able to voice Spider-Man in that thing? Like, have you thought, oh, I can't believe I didn't get a shot for that? I'm really curious. Is there a favorite?
Isn't there a Spider-Man in Lego Batman? Is there a Lego
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
yeah.
I think I never did the Lego Spider-Man.
That's really
That
cool.
would have been dope. That would have been really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, we found it. That was quick. The suspense is killing us.
I mean, you know what? I had to have played a concert with them and just forgot. But I mean, I'm sure maybe on like a concert, or I'm sure we played a festival or something together. I just can't recall.
All right.
So, my cousin, right here, she was too scared to ask, but she wants to know, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color, blue.
Good choice. Yeah. You made a good choice with your hair there.
So did you have a like favorite episode or like most like fun episode that you enjoyed filming, or for Drake and Josh specifically?
Shooting like Drake and Josh Go Hollywood was fun because we finally got to get out of the studio, you know, and off the sound stage, and got to go shoot around town, and that was a lot of fun. And I think just any time where me and Josh had, you know, it was just scenes where me and Josh, like, you know, when we get upset at each other, he's like, you call me a liar, I'm calling you a truther, and it's just us in the scene. Or when the car breaks down when we're trying to get the cake to our aunt's house, and it's just the two of us on the side of the road for most of the episode, and you know, there's not many other ancillary characters kind of coming in and out. It's really fun. It just gave us that kind of free reign to just be us, you know? It was
Did you
cool.
guys fight much in real life, like in the show?
All the time. All the time. No, I mean, honestly, we were growing up together, so we were like real brothers, you know? Sometimes we got along, sometimes we didn't. But in the end, you know, most of the time we were working together. So it was like, yeah, I mean, we got along 90% of the time, you know? It was just like, honestly, we're working hard, we get exhausted, and we're the ones that are in front of each other. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna take it out on you because you're there and I'm tired, you know? But no, for the most part, you know, we got along really, really well, and that allowed us to, you know, be able to be funny together, you know? Yeah.
Cool. Love your cosplay, by the way. Yeah. All right.
Sorry. I can hear you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I first wanted to say I actually met you at Disneyland a few years ago. You were really nice to me.
Oh, rad.
You took my phone because I was in the back of a big crowd. Everyone passed my phone up so you could like take a selfie with it.
Oh, rad.
And that was really great.
Yeah.
And then, so I was actually binge watching Drake and Josh on Hulu recently
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, I like saw it was there and like, why wouldn't I binge watch it? And I got to one of my favorite episodes where Mindy puts the car in the classroom and
Yep.
blames you. But there was one thing I never like actually truly understood. Why did Mrs. Hafer hate you before that? Because she hated you before that.
See, that's
she just hated you.
yeah. I think that was just we needed
It's
a.
because you dated her daughter.
I think so. I think it's because I dated her daughter.
There were so.
Because wasn't there an episode where like I went and I knocked on the door like looking for the daughter?
Yeah, and she
Chelsea
came to the
Brummett
door.
played the daughter from all that.
But there's
yeah.
so many episodes where like it's just you and Mrs. Hafer, and it's just her just repeatedly telling, "I hate you, Drake."
I think what it was.
That's pretty
I mean,
harsh.
from the outside, like from the creative point of view of where it came from, was I think that we needed an anti-Helen.
because
So we
she
had,
loved you and hated
because
Josh.
Helen loves me and hates Josh, and Mrs. Hafer, loves Josh because he's such a good student, but just can't stand Drake. So I think that when a few episodes of Helen went by, they were like, oh, we need like an anti-Helen. We need someone who like hates Drake, because everybody loves Drake, So we got to get someone that just like despises him. And she was one of my favorites. Like I loved just like those stupid like. Still hate you. It's like I know.
I also
Just
like
these little like.
all the doodles that you were supposedly drawing of her. Like I have all of them. Like
Oh
like,
really?
I
Like
just
when
keep
she's
them as
falling. This is her falling.
Yeah, like
And what's
Mindy-
what's at the bottom of these? Hungry alligators.
I just like that's the one I've been repeating.
Oh,
like
that's
just
awesome. Is
repeatedly
the
watching.
one when I put it in the car in the classroom? Is
Oh yeah,
the-
Mindy stole like your jacket and put it in the trunk of the car to frame it.
Right, and that's the same one. That's the when we go to court, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that same episode. Yeah, that's a great one.
I'm like, I love all this reminiscing about episodes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember watching that. And like,
It was a good show.
oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
What's like the one catchphrase anyone comes up to you and says?
Oh,
from any of
the
the
one.
the one that always.
Man, I mean, there's a billion of them. I mean, you've got, whoa, just take it easy, man. Hug me, brother. Megan. You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther. Spherical. Oh yeah. Por favor. Oh, pip pip to doodly doo.
I think that one's my favorite.
Oh man, what else? Oh, are you ready to ping the pong? Man, it's you have broken the glass of what is it, the window of transparency, or the glass of transparency, or whatever. It's just ine kuruse what do I say when the girls you're the one that said ine kuruse unta ya while the sun was in the house of Carflog.
Sorry about the Glock, Mom.
Yeah, sorry about the Glock, Ma. Goat balls?
I'm like, did we cover them all? Anybody have any more?
It's endless. Like there's so many, But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, honestly, the one that I get the most is, can you say, whoa, just take it easy, man? Like, okay, didn't even know that wasn't even written as a joke. Like, it was just like, hey, repeat what you just said. And I'm like, okay, whoa, just take it easy, man. Whoa, just take, okay. And then everyone's just like, and then you go to all over the world and it translates for some reason. So I'll go to Mexico and they'll be like, oh, can you say, yo, que digan, oye, tranquilo, viejo. And I'm like, I never even said that. That was like somebody in a booth translating it into your language. That was not my voice. But okay, oye, tranquilo, viejo. It's just so, abrázame, hermano. It's like so funny it just translates into all I'm like in another country and they're just like asking, it's pretty funny.
All right.
Hello.
Hey.
I had a question. When you played in that movie, superhero movie,
Yeah.
was there any difference between the guy? I think his name was Dragonfly.
Yeah.
Was there any difference between him and Spider-Man? Like, was there any differences?
Well, he was way dumber.
Yeah.
No, it was actually, it's really interesting. Like, there's a lot of parallels that are kind of interesting. Like, Drake Parker plays Peter Parker and was also Rick Riker, the spoof of Peter Parker. Like, it's really weird how many kind of different incarnations I've played of this, like, what, you know, superhero character. But yeah, I think, I mean, there were elements of Spider-Man I obviously drew, but it was way before I played Spider-Man, and I don't think I was thinking, I mean, it was obviously a spoof on Spider-Man, but I didn't play, so I think like, if you hear whenever I'm Dragonfly, I'm more like, I'm not wearing any diamonds. You know, I'm like I think I'm more channeling like some kid who thinks he's like sounding big, bad, and tough, like, what would Batman sound like? So, hey, here's what I sound like, you know? And Spider-Man's just like, hey, come on, Buckethead, like, well, you know, Nova Creep, that's a cool name. Hey, Nova Creep, you know? So they're kind of two different characters.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's just like a 15-year-old that, oh, whoa, you know, what happened? And then I think Dragonfly is trying to put on like this is what a superhero is supposed to sound like.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi. So, because like we're in a Comic Con, I would like my question is like, if you had the chance to portray a superhero in an action film, who would you portray as?
Invincible. You see it, don't you? Come on.
I mean, they
come
are
on.
making a movie.
I would love to. Are they making a movie or just animated series?
I thought they were gonna do
I
a
heard
film.
Seth Rogen
Yeah,
was
in
making
the film,
movie, yeah. So I would, you know, I'll get on those blogs. Drake
Yeah.
Bell is invincible. I'm telling you, I've read every single comic. I have them all at home. I've been front, back, cover, everything. I've got the toys. I've got the action figures at home. I know my jam. I'll do the fanboys well.
Yeah, guys, hashtag Drake Bell for Invincible. Hashtag Drake Bell for Invincible. Get it trending on Twitter.
Yeah, and I've been hitting the gym, so I'm already ready. Preparing. I'm already preparing.
I'm Andy. Nice to meet you.
Hey, how's it going?
First and foremost, thank you for Drake and Josh.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of good times. I even have a Ready, Steady, Go on my iPhone.
Oh,
too, by
sick.
the way, so thank you for that too.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's that.
Thanks.
I guess I have a question. It's kind of dated. Hopefully everyone knows this one. So when you were hanging out with the David Dobrik dudes, you know, to go to David Dobrik and sing to him, oh wow, that's Drake.
Yeah.
You know, Drake and Josh. I just want to know how are the David Dobrik dudes off camera? How were they? Were they as gnarly as on film, or is that a dumb question to ask?
No.
Uh-oh.
No.
You can give us a G-rated version. That's fine.
No, I mean they're cool guys.
They're cool.
Yeah, they're super dope. They're like, I don't think they're like as wild and crazy as they are on camera. Like, you know, when the camera starts rolling, it definitely kind of like, but I mean, that's with anything. You're gonna get, you know, you're gonna be, oh, the camera's on? All right, you're gonna be more, you know, more on and everything regardless. But no, I mean, they're definitely a different breed, man. You know, they're definitely a wild and crazy bunch, for sure. But yeah, I haven't spent much time with them, you know, like.
I know it's a dated one.
Yeah, but they're funny guys, you know. They're all, it's, I don't know, it's like they're all so different too, you know what I mean? Like they all have like their own kind of, you know, oddities and craziness. So, but yeah, there's definitely stuff that's played up for the cameras, you know. I mean, I don't know if they'd be able to be like that 24/7.
Yeah.
But no, they're a fun group of guys. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, totally.
Hi, my name's David, and I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so like all these other questions were good, but like this question is really, this one's like really important. Like it's like I think it can change the world. How was it? Like, how do you feel knowing that you took part in the national anthem? How does it feel to know you were part of our national anthem?
The iCarly theme song is your national anthem? I feel honored. I feel quite honored. What the nation of what?
Earth.
Earth? The nation of Earth. All right. As long as you have a message of unity, that's great. You know, I'm with you, full force there. So the nation of Earth with the national anthem of iCarly theme song. Isn't that a future we need?
Yeah,
Isn't that
I think so.
That is the future and a world that we need to live in. And so I like that you're the catalyst of that.
Start an online petition.
And then my second question is if you could take a selfie with me.
Sure, come on over here.
All right, and we'll go on to the next question. We'll get you queued up there for a selfie.
Wait, let me take that again because I look like. I look awful in that.
You're like, no, filter.
All right, there we go. That's better. Oh, they let me out of the house. Wow.
All righty.
All right.
And then we'll get to you guys too, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Hi, Drake.
Hey, how's it going?
So I'm going to college to study to be an actress, and I was wondering what advice could you give aspiring actors and actresses today?
Auditioning is really hard. Auditioning is really annoying. Auditioning is going to break your spirits and make you feel like nobody likes you and because they didn't pick you for the role, and you're gonna have to go to 100 auditions before you get picked for one. And so I would say that the hardest thing is probably just the process of being able to go, I just wasn't right for that role. It wasn't nothing that it wasn't me, it wasn't my acting ability, it just wasn't right for that role, So when you go into an audition and you have, I think this is the hardest thing for an actor, because when you get on set, it's like, oh, hey man, people like me, they picked me, and now I just have to do what I do, and that's a lot easier, but the whole process of actually, oh man, I spent a week working on this performance, and I went into this audition, and they didn't even let me get all the way through it before they said, thank you, goodbye, thank you for your time. And you're like, wait, but we still have 2 other scenes to read. And they're like, no, it's good. But I worked so hard on this. And if you just go in knowing that when you're in the audition room, like that's your time, that's what you do. You're an actor. You're not the producer, you're not the director, you're not the the DP, you're not this. So all you can do is do your job and go in there and act. And once you leave, you're done. If you can approach auditions that way and just go, okay, cool, when I leave this audition room, I'm done with that audition and I'm gonna go move on to do whatever else I have to do. Go see my friends for the rest of the day, or go work on that next audition I have, and completely forget about what you just left in the room, because once you're gone, everything's out of your control. Like, you can't change. There might be someone in the room that loves you, but they don't have as much power as this other person who's like, that girl I saw yesterday, I'm more into. So, and then you don't get the job, and you're like, everyone in the room hated me, and I didn't do a good job, and there's so many elements that could be like, oh, well, we just cast the brother, and they just don't look enough alike, but when that next role comes, I'm definitely calling her in because she gave a great audition. But you don't think they're saying that. You think they're saying, oh, she wasn't good enough, and then you take that into your next audition, and you don't realize that there's so many elements that have to come together to pick someone for a role that are so completely out of your control that it'll just drive you mad if you sit there and go, oh, I could have done this, or it's because I said the line this way is why I didn't get the role, or it's because I wore this shirt, or it's because of it. It's like, no, man, just you go in, do what you do, leave, and move on to the next thing. And then when they call you up and they say, hey, we want you to come back, we want you for a call back, then revisit it and go, okay, cool, so let me do and go in and do what you did before, because that's what they liked. Don't overthink it. Don't think, oh, now I've got to do something different, or I've got to act a different way, or look a different way. Like, just, they called you back, go in, do what you did before, and, just don't let the audition process and a lot of people always go, man, how do these people go on to American Idol and The Voice, and they must have so much guts and such a thick skin, because they're going in front of these 3 judges and they're getting told no. And I'm like, yeah, but they do it once. Like, they go up there once and then they get told no and then they move on. Like, this is an actor's job every day. multiple times a day, is to walk in front of a group of people you have no idea who they are, or you know exactly who they are and what they've done and what they've produced and who they've casted and what stars they've made, and you have to stand there in front of them and do what you think they want to see, and then look at you and go, okay, thank you, goodbye. And then you have to go to another audition at 3 o'clock after your noon audition and do that again. And then you have to go to your 6 o'clock audition and do that again. And you have to do that 5 days a week, 100 times a week, 100 times a month. And so if people have a thick skin going on to American Idol and audition in front of Simon Cowell one time, think of the thick skin that you have to have as an actor doing this 100 times a week, getting told no. Just for that one chance that someone's gonna go, you know what? Yes. And then all of those hundreds of auditions that you beat yourself up over, that you cried over, that you called your mom over, that you would talk to your friends over, literally just go and just fall away, because now you're on set doing exactly what you worked your butt off to do, And so if you could just get past that audition process and past the rejection aspect and feeling rejected, then you're gonna soar through this industry, because everybody else around you is going to be dealing and working with that in their brain, And if you overcome that, you're light years beyond anybody that's surrounding you. It's doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a speed round, just so we make sure we get
sorry,
to
that was
every
really
one of
long-winded.
you.
I'll get through all of you guys.
right.
It's all good.
But,
Would you rather do one last season of Drake and Josh or Spider-Man?
Oh man.
that's like Sophie's choice, man.
You know what? I think it would be the best thing if we just did I think it'd be cool if we just came back exactly where we left off. I don't know what the last episode is. I think I got my song on the Super Bowl or something like that, and Josh became it was my manager and all that stuff. I think it would be really cool if everybody came back to the same sets, to the same room, to the same everything, and we literally just picked up the show exactly where we left off, and we don't mention why we look 15 years older. Josh might have a little stubble, might be a little gray in his beard, but I put my hair back and wear the same clothes and but we picked the show up exactly where we left off, and we're heading to the Super Bowl because I'm gonna play, or let's play some concert or something like that, where Josh and I are, seniors in high school or junior, wherever we left off, and Megan and Miranda comes back, and she's like, why do we have this 25-year-old woman living in our house as our little sister? And we live in our house, and we live with our parents, and Jonathan and Nancy are just older, but we just never mention it, and we never reference anything. It's literally just like you're watching the continuation of the show, but we're 15 years older.
So does that mean you'd bring back Drake and Josh?
That's the answer to that. Yeah. I would do that.
You've probably been asked this before, but what do you think about the Drake and Josh house being torn down? Do you think it was fair? Did they at least notify you guys they were torn down, or to see if you guys want to keep it or anything?
No, it was, the thing is, it's just some private residence, it was actually a house that was around the corner from the creator of the show, and they were just friends of his, and they were like, yeah, sure, you can use our house. So we actually only shot at the real house for the intros and outros of going into the bedroom window and coming out, and then we were only physically there shooting for the Drake and Josh, Merry Christmas Drake and Josh, when we did the whole snowing outside, and a lot of the stuff for that movie was actually shot at the house. But the majority, it's kind of like the Brady Bunch house, it's that. It didn't look like that on the inside, if you go to the house, it looks like the house on the outside, but the second you walk in the house, you're like, where? This is not the Drake and Josh house. There's no cool bedroom upstairs and stuff like that. So, it would have been cool to become something like the Brady Bunch house, because man, it's famous on social media, man. When the thing got torn down and when it was up for sale, and people were always going by
now it's a
it
new
and knocking on the
reality TV
doors,
show,
and
yeah.
people were always, bugging the residents of the house, taking pictures in front of it and stuff. But yeah, it is kind of a bummer that you know, that you can go by sort of these iconic. Nick on Sunset too, I mean, is gone now. I mean, Nick on Sunset for me is more emotional of like, because that was my home, you know, that's where we shot Drake and Josh. Everything that you saw on Drake and Josh was shot at Nick on Sunset. Even if we're outside, like when we're shooting, like we're supposed to be stuck on the side of the freeway or something, you know, in that episode, that was just in the parking lot of Nick on Sunset, you know. If we were ever, you know, whenever we're learning how to, you know, try to drive that car and we can't drive it and it's stick, all that, like that's all just right at Nick on Sunset. So that being torn down and turned into whatever apartments or whatever they're doing to it now, that's kind of like, oh man, like, it's my childhood, like, it's gone. Like, I'm gonna have to tell my kid, like, to show pictures and like look online or something. But for the house, it's not as sentimental because we only shot there like 2 or 3 times. But it would be cool if it was still standing.
Hello.
Hey.
I have a very stupid question for you, but it's important.
Okay.
Have you ever considered naming your kid Taco? So his name would be Taco.
Oh my God. It's actually it's been in very serious discussion. It's oh, just wait until I post a little nugget in a little taco costume. It's gonna break the internet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also have a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you like waffles or pancakes more?
I would have to say waffles.
I like that answer.
Why? You like
Definitely.
waffles?
Because waffles, you get like both. You get that sort of like crispy, like when you go to cut them, it's like, and then it goes into the soft like pancakeness. But pancakes are just kind of like, it's like you can just like it's like what is it? Like,
And the
I don't know,
waffle
just
and
dough.
stuff.
It's just like a lot of dough, a lot of, you know. Pancakes are awesome when you get them, and then like halfway through, you're like, can you get these away from me? Like, what the, like, why? You know, yeah, they're like super exciting at the beginning, and then I think Jim Gaffigan has a joke like that or something.
Yeah.
Like everyone's excited when waffles arrive, when pancakes arrive, but when you know 3 bites in, you're like, what am I doing?
You did a great Gaffigan there, but
Oh,
what am I doing?
Will you take a picture with us?
Pancakes. I'm sorry?
Will you take a picture with us?
Jeez, sure, come on up.
Oh. All right, good.
I sent you a video of him.
Oh, ignore. Hey, I'm busy. I gotta take a selfie.
I didn't drop an F-bomb and it still just is gonna be on me now.
All right, later, bro. And he's smoking a joint. Okay. All right.
And I kept it clean this whole time. I even gave it.
All right. Get in here, you criminals. Yeah, no problem.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Next time, hand me a phone with a naked lady on it.